But Jake,
Yeah.
Browns Chiefs, do you think that's a foregone conclusion, or do you think we're maybe going to see some Browns magic like we did last weekend?
No, I think this is a game that everybody knows how it's going to end.
That's
And
what everybody thought last weekend.
no,
Not
I
Jake.
genuinely did not. I genuinely thought it was going to be a close game, and I'll take that to the grave. But it's I thought about this earlier today. It's weird how good the Chiefs are because when I look at the playoffs and like especially like last week, seeing like who plays it, I kind of just forgot about the Chiefs
Yeah.
because it was just such a given
And
that
I
I
think
was
they
like,
rested
looking at
their
all these other games
starters.
and just like, oh fuck, well they're going to be there. So
They had a bye week and they rested their starters week 16 or something. So we haven't seen them
yeah,
in a while. And you kind of have like a recency bias where you see like a really good team and you're like, oh, like look at Lamar Jackson, look at that run. You forget about Patrick Mahomes just absolutely dicing people up.
Did
yeah,
you guys
they're probably on like HGH over that week. So
Getting
did you guys see the stat about scoring in the playoffs from PFF? And it was like the top four guys, like it's whatever the EPA stat is or something, like something about efficiency or whatever, scoring efficiency. But basically, Aaron Rodgers was at like, and this was over the past like 10 years or something.
yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was at like 23. Drew Brees was at like 24 point something. Tom Brady was at like 26 point something. And 26 is the cap. But then you have Patrick Mahomes who's at like 34 or something crazy.
yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just like astronomically better at scoring in the playoffs than Tom Brady, Drew Brees, or Aaron Rodgers, which is horrifying to think about.
Yeah. And like look at the stats, like look at the offensive stats. The Chiefs are the number one passing team and the Browns are the 24th. And I think Baker's been improving, but the Chiefs are so efficient. Like they can dice you up. It feels like they're not even trying half the time, and then the other team like gets a lead, and then they're like, "Oh, flip on the switch." Travis Kelsey, Tyreek Hill,
Yep.
touchdown. It's just
Yeah, that's one thing. I've heard a lot of people this season talk about how the Chiefs like aren't as good as everybody says they are because they don't like cover the spread or whatever. But I just think that's because that they know like the the effort that they have to put in to get what they get out.
yeah,
Because clearly, like last postseason, they were behind in every single postseason game, and then Patrick Mahomes just like, "Oh, we got to go win this one. Okay, let's go win this one," and then they do it.
yeah. They're
They like to make good TV.
the
Yeah,
Texans had them on the ropes like that. They were up like 24, 28 points or something, and then they flipped a switch, came back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But so this is matchup is kind of similar to the Bills Ravens in that one team is such a pass offense and then the other one is such a rush offense. Like the Browns are number 3 overall in the league rushing and they have 2,374 yards on the season, 21 touchdowns. But the Chiefs they're middle of the pack, but I feel like they don't run that often. Like when they choose to run, they are an efficient running team. Like they have
well,
1,799 yards on the season. That's pretty damn good.
I feel like with the Chiefs, everybody's just so afraid of like the pass game that it opens up the run game for them, and it's
Yeah.
usually the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, because you will have to double Travis Kelsey or Tyreek Hill or both of them. Like you have to put so much effort into
And
those
then
two guys.
if McCole Hardman is single covered, he's going to be open for a touchdown.
Yeah. Or Sammy
It's
Watkins or Robinson. Like they got a
yeah,
loaded team. So
being a defensive game planner against the Chiefs would suck.
it'd be horrible. I do think the Ravens defense is the best matchup for the Chiefs offense. But I don't know if we'll get to see that because I think the Bills might squeak out that win there.
Yeah. Um, I think the Browns should be able to score on the ground because when I think of Kansas City's defense, I really only think of Chris Jones and Tyrann Mathieu. And I feel like if you do like some outside runs with Chubb, I think you'd be pretty good. Stay away from Chris Jones.
Yeah, and the Browns line is so good. I think they might like no one really talks about their offensive line, but I think they might be able to stifle Chris Jones. Like
No,
they're getting Batonio back. They got Wyatt Teller. Their center's good.
their offensive line is like, it's not an argument. It was the best in football this year. It's the only time an offensive line has graded the highest in pass and rush coverage in the same season.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
if you
Or
can
not coverage, blocking.
the Chiefs kind of rely on Chris Jones to be a one-man wrecking crew. So if you take him away, like how much pass rush are you going to get on Mayfield, and how are you going to fare against Nick Chubb? And Kareem Hunt's probably super
Well,
motivated against this game.
all right. So if they do make it so Baker has to throw, I feel like a lot of Baker stuff is kind of similar to Josh Allen, where he almost gets better when he's like scrambling outside of the pocket.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think with the Chiefs, especially, you kind of have somebody who neutralizes that, because if Tyrann Mathieu is just like sitting back watching Baker Mayfield and he's like, "Oh, guy over there," boop,
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu's probably already in a position where he has enough time to like go make a play on that ball.
And Tyrann Mathieu is the type of guy who he elevates in the playoffs. Like he's got some kind of intangible, like ever since college, like if he's playing in a championship game or a bowl game or something, like he's gonna
He's a
get a
super
big play.
factor.
He's a game changer.
Yeah.
But another interesting matchup that I really wanted to dive into is the Browns are getting Denzel Ward back, and Denzel Ward versus Tyreek Hill, I think is going to be a crazy matchup because PFF said that Denzel Ward has allowed 31% completion percentage in single coverage over the last 3 seasons, and the next highest is over 40%. So he's locking people down when he does play and when he's healthy. But just the physical matchup here is literally like top-notch world-class athleticism. Like Tyreek Hill ran a 4.2940. Denzel Ward ran a 4.31. Tyreek Hill's vertical was 40 and a half. Denzel's was 39. And then if you even go back to like their high school track numbers, Tyreek did a 10.19 in the 100 meter, and Denzel did a 10.49. And in the 200, Tyreek had a 20.14 and Denzel had a 21.38. So it's like Tyreek has a slight speed advantage, and I think the game speed's different. But if there is one athlete in the NFL who's athletic enough to be able to keep up with him and not requires double coverage every play, it's probably Denzel Ward.
I just want to say I don't know any other sports media outlet that goes all the way back to high school track and field to get comparable, favorable matchups
Yeah.
in NFL games.
I mean, I'm looking at, what were these guys doing back in the day when they were kids?
Yeah.
Because if you're not fast when you're a kid, are you going to be fast as an adult? Probably not.
You actually physically can be. I will put it on the record. If the Browns do win, people will be surprised.
Yeah. Will you be surprised or not? I want this on record. Do you think the Browns are going to win this game?
Oh, no. I will be surprised, but I know everybody will be surprised.
I'll put it on
you heard it
record
here
that
first.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns won it. Because I think that if they can get that run game going and play keep away ball and run the clock out, and they make Patrick Mahomes have to like make miraculous plays, like
Which he,
Miles Garrett will be able to get a pass rush on him. Like
I don't know about that. Eric Fisher is going to be holding them all day.
Denzel Ward will be able to keep up with Tyreek Hill. And then I think it comes down to big Ronnie Harrison shadowing Travis Kelce, trying to get a big hit on him, trying to break up a couple of those passes.
PFF's like 40th overall safety, who you guys tried to tell me was like 14th, which is just not true.
No, they said it on the broadcast pregame.
Maybe it was like
Chris Collinsworth said it himself.
Maybe it was like in the playoffs or something. Well, we all know how you feel about Chris Collinsworth.
Well, speaking of PFF, since week 9, they graded Baker Mayfield a 90.5 and Patrick Mahomes an 88.5.
Well,
So
Patrick Mahomes is not exerting everything he needs to exert, but I do think it'll be an interesting game, and I would like to put on record, just so we can use it in a clip if it does happen, I think the Browns will beat the Chiefs this weekend.
I also think the Browns will beat the Chiefs this weekend. Jake, what do you think?
I think one team will win, either the Browns or the Chiefs.
I don't think what I said was true. It was just for the clip.
No, I think there's a good chance. I mean, it's not gonna be an easy game.
I mean,
You don't
as
just
the
beat
great
the Chiefs.
as the great Joe Ray would say, if you have a lane, you have a chance.